Welcome to Santa Barbara Now. I'm your host, Assemblyman Angelo Santabarbara. Today, as you can see, I'm wearing my pink shirt, and actually I've been wearing it for a few weeks now. Actually, even in September,
yes,
we started wearing pink.
Right.
And October, we know, is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it's a very important time to be aware of breast cancer, and we're going to share some of the statistics. But it's a time to reaffirm our commitment to fighting the disease and learning more about how we can make a difference in the battle against breast cancer. And today my guest has been a guest before, returning guest,
yes.
Suzanne Hagedorn,
yes.
From the Cancer Services Program of Fulton, Montgomery, and Schenectady
Correct,
County.
3 counties.
So it's always great to have you here
Thank
you're very passionate about your work.
Yes, love what I do.
And we have seen you around the district, not just in Schenectady, but we've
Everywhere.
seen you in Amsterdam
That's right.
quite a bit, actually, because what I've seen a lot of this year and years past was what we call the pink out.
Yes,
So
correct.
these sports teams are doing, they wear pink, and they also recognize survivors of breast cancer.
Right.
And they had a little ceremony with carnations
Yes,
yesterday.
yeah, that's
so
nice.
we have to give a shout out to the Amsterdam varsity soccer team.
Yep, it was
Boys,
JV, and varsity, and then the girls yesterday.
And the girls
right.
soccer team yesterday too.
Yep.
So the Rams and the Lady
Yeah.
Rams, we thank you for your efforts because that day the concession also raises money for your program.
Correct.
And we're going to talk about your program, but we also want to give a shout out to
Perillo's Armory Grill.
Perillo's Armory Grill, because
Last
they did
night.
a breast cancer pink out.
They did
night,
last night.
Last night to raise awareness, and they raised some funds.
They raised $600 for the program.
$600 in
Yep.
one night. That's
Yep.
good. And we're going to talk about why that's important because every dollar counts
That's right.
towards preventing
Right.
breast cancer. And also, there was another location you went to yesterday.
The Rustic Loft, and that was also on Route 30 in Amsterdam. So I had a busy night.
So there was a lot.
And
There was a lot
they did a pink teeny night.
Yeah,
So
and that's
it was
and
nice.
it's nice, and it is all about awareness.
It is.
But at some point, awareness turns into action. We're doing things too. So I encourage everybody to get your pink clothing out, support the cause, the fight against breast cancer. Actually, the girls yesterday, the soccer team, they gave me a little tattoo. As soon as I got there, actually, I got this. So this is a little breast cancer awareness tattoo that the girls. Let me see if I can straighten this out. Okay. There we go. Okay, right there. So thank you to the Lady Rams, the girls soccer team, for the tattoo. It lasted.
Obviously.
From yesterday, it still lasted. So it's great to see that we still have it.
Nice.
Suzanne, we're going to talk about your program. And this is a program that we talk about every year.
Right.
But we don't just talk about it in October, because October is Awareness Month, but
Right.
it's important that we talk about this all year long.
Exactly, and that's always my perspective, is to make sure it's in the forefront all the time, not that October is the month to just talk about it and recognize it. Breast cancer happens every day. It touches one of us in another way. Could be your family, a friend, a coworker.
And we started, actually the first pink out was in September. And
Right, yeah.
We said just that. It doesn't have to be October.
Right.
And that's great, that
Right.
we made that point. You said it could affect anybody. And this is
can.
something that has no barriers. It affects hundreds of thousands of Americans
Correct.
each year. But in New York State, 15,000, I believe, is the number each year
Yes.
affected by breast cancer.
Yes.
And that's an estimate, but it's a
Right.
big number.
Right,
And
sure is.
We just talked about before we started the show, 1 in 8.
1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Yes.
And your program, of course, there's ways to battle this.
That's
Awareness
right.
is one way, but we can
That's
do
right.
things too. What can
Right.
we do?
You can get screened. That's like the main thing.
And that's what's so great about your program.
Right. I really try to promote that to the women. You need to come get your breast exams and your mammograms every year. Our program provides that service for free if they don't have health insurance. And we're also able to help those who are uninsured or underinsured now. So if they have high deductibles or copays, we're able to play a role in that too. So that's kind of a new thing that's come about a little bit more since we've seen healthcare take, a different avenue. So our program's able to at least assist with some of that.
And I ask this question every year. How are the numbers looking? We're trying to we have you on the show each year. We come to events. We talk about your program. We raise money for your program.
Right.
Are more people taking advantage of it?
It's about 50-50 right now with the health insurance issue, but I'm finding a lot of people who have taken insurance either hadn't paid their premium, so then they lose it again, or it's just people have chosen not to because they can't afford it. So there's a lot of stipulations in there that we're getting these people, and I am seeing a lot of new people.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering if that's a big piece of that. So,
And I guess the other question is, look, we talked about the JV team, the Lady Rams.
Yes.
What age should you start?
they should start at 40. Everybody, should have their first breast exam at 40 years old and continue annually, unless there's personal or family history, then obviously start earlier. So, if your mom, aunt, sister, somebody in that direct degree of relative should be getting screened a little bit sooner.
And we go through this every year too. There's no reason not to do this.
No,
there's
no
reason
reason.
Besides that, you can make up an excuse for anything.
Right.
But this is something, we always talk about too. That if it's mostly women, a large number. Is women,
Correct.
but there's men
But
that are
there's men
affected too. Let's talk about that. It
Yeah.
happens. It's not as frequent, but it happens, right?
That's right. It's about 2% of the population that we see. The males may actually have a breast cancer history or something theirself, their family member. I've had a couple of men come through the program who have had a lump that they thought was a lump, but ended up being a cyst, thankfully. So no breast cancer, but it's there. And I have a good friend of mine who's going through his 3rd round of breast cancer. So very, close to home for me anyway, to have a male in that position.
And it is early detection is the key.
That's
That's the best way to battle this, to make sure that you get screened. And I'm reading here, there's a 98% survival rate when breast cancer is caught early at a localized stage.
Yes, like stage 1, if they've caught it at that point, definitely, they can go through radiation or chemo, whatever's needed at that time, and that's where the curable piece comes into play.
And we talked about your program. How do people watching? You cover three counties.
3 counties. Yep.
3 counties. That's a big area.
That's right.
How do you
It is.
cover such a big area? And how do people access?
How does one person do that?
Well,
I just don't know.
Yes. How do people watching want to say, you know what? I think I want to visit Suzanne, and I want to take advantage of the program. How do they do it?
Right. They can definitely give us a call. It's 518-841-3726. And that's probably the best way to reach us. They can come to our office if they need us to do their application to see if they qualify for the program. Most of our contact is over the phone. It's very interesting how that happens. And the only time I get to see the women are maybe when I do a screening day, where we have a lot of women that come that day. I have 14 next Saturday coming to Ellis. So that's awesome. We'll have 14 women screened.
And of course, there's always reasons. You could, as I said, you could say, all right, I'm going to put it off. I'm not going to go. I'll do it tomorrow. What are some other excuses that we want to just talk about right now that are just not good excuses?
Fear of getting cancer, pain, it's discomfort. It's, I say 5 minutes of your life at that point. And people are worried about radiation as well. And it's such a low level at that time, you're not getting exposed to it every day. So those are probably the main
those are
things,
common
I think.
excuses.
Yeah.
And you're saying it takes 5 minutes.
Typically, pretty much.
So 5 minutes, it's worth it, the travel time back and forth. What if someone calls and says, hey, I don't have a ride?
We have service. We can get them a cab and get them there. So that's another piece. A lot of people say, well, I don't have a ride. I got to take a bus. We can provide taxi service for them.
So we've eliminated all the barriers.
Yeah, they got
here.
nothing now. They
so
can't.
There's no
excuse to tell me they're not going anymore.
Yes,
That's
yes.
it.
And Suzanne, I know how passionate you are about this.
Thank you.
And I know you talked about your personal story as well in the past.
October 1st will be 3 years that I had my biopsy, and everything was fine. I never had any cancer.
And we're so happy to have you here, and happy to see you promoting and helping the community to get early detection on people's radar, get screened. Again, there's no reason not to do this. 1 in 8 in the United States will develop breast cancer at some point in their lives. We can't just sit back and wait.
No,
we have to screen. We have to find out if there's early detection. And make sure that people are participating in all the events.
That's
locally.
why we're here.
Yep, to raise awareness.
That's right.
And throughout the month, we're going to see some more events, some more pink events.
Aperitivo next door will as well. They're going to do a pink week.
But early detection is the key. The way you do that, you visit Suzanne.
Give us a call.
And if you have questions, she can answer them for you. Suzanne, let's give that number out again.
Yep, 518-841-3726.
And we're going to put that up on the screen. And there's plenty of ways to participate. We're seeing at all ages because the JV team, the varsity team, we're seeing schools get involved. So there's a number of ways, and there's a lot of events that'll be on my website, and certainly on my social media. We'll promote any events that are going on, as you heard in downtown Schenectady, in Amsterdam, but across the entire area. You can participate in raising awareness, also raising funds. How those funds, we said you raised $600.
Right.
Those funds go right directly towards providing the service.
Correct, yes. With $200 could do a full service for a woman for her breast exam, actually her mammogram, pap test, and a colorectal cancer screening kit if needed. So for $200, we could, out of that 600, we can screen 3 women.
So we want to, again, thank the
Yes.
the Lady Rams and the Rams,
Yes.
the soccer teams in Amsterdam, because they raised quite a bit of money to be able to go towards this program.
Yeah, an Armory Grill, and I won't know what the Pink Teeny Nights bring yet, so that'll be all month, and it's all those things.
And if there's businesses, if there's if you're out there and you're watching, you want to sponsor an event, contact Suzanne. She'll help you put it together.
Yes,
and
for sure.
we can organize pretty quickly. It's just the beginning of October.
That's right.
But again, you don't have to have it just in October.
No, that's what I was going to say. We can do it anytime. So
anytime.
I've done different cancers throughout the year, so just whenever it pops up,
Well, I want to thank you for being on
you.
the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's always great to have you here.
Thank
it's
you.
always great to see you out and about and at the soccer games. And we saw you at Perillo's.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that piece
Yes, we will
too.
see you again. We got a great photo of me and Suzanne on Facebook that you can pull up. But the important thing is make sure you call, ask the questions. It takes 5 minutes she'll get you a ride. Anything you need to get screened. Early detection is the key. 1 in 8. It's a significant number, and we need to do everything we can to raise awareness, take action, and encourage people to get the exams that they need. Right. Thank you for joining us here for this very important cause, and we will take a break and be back to talk more with the American Red Cross.
Camp Wildwood functions as our summer extension program, so all the academic needs the kids are identified with on their IEPs get accomplished in this camp setting. But to the kids will come, they'll get off their buses, they'll be greeted by their teacher or their teaching assistant, and then they'll go to their classroom, which might be a pavilion, it might be a cabin-like place, and then they get on with their day, which will include not only academic activities, but swimming, arts and crafts.
They have outdoor education once a day, and they alternate between outdoor education class and then opportunity at the pond to put those skills into practice. So they're down here fishing and riding on the boat. They're talking about water safety and the ecosystem that exists down here. They're catching frogs and fish, and it's definitely a place where the kids really like to be.
So when they go fishing, they actually go out on the boat and they put their poles in and
they do
catch things and see the whole process.
And you wouldn't believe the life that lives in this pond. There are a lot of fish, as you can see. All you have to do is walk out onto
I
the
can
pond
see some of these are
they come right to you.
Yeah, our adapted aquatics program, we cover all areas from their physical fitness to their motor skills to doing group work together, increasing their self-esteem.
I think the whole program here at Wildwood does a great job of doing cross-curriculum activities. So things that they're working on, you know, at swim or at their classroom, they're also working on here at art, but in a fun and different and new way.
We've toured Camp Wildwood today because this is such a unique way of learning, because a lot of it happens outside the classroom. What they teach is that your disability does not define who you are. You can learn in so many other different ways. Autism does not stop my son from learning more and more about the world around him, and a lot of that happens here while he's at Camp Wildwood. Welcome back to the show. I'm Assemblyman Angelo Santabarbara, your host. We were just talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and October is several causes happening in October. One of them is Fire Prevention Month as well. My next guests are here from the American Red Cross, and they've been involved with emergencies throughout the entire area. We're very happy to have Gary Strider back, who is the CEO, and of course I forgot.
Kevin Coffey.
Kevin Coffey, okay. Kevin Coffey is the
Chief Development Officer.
Chief Development Officer, and I'm very happy to have both of them here. I don't have my red shirt just yet for
We're going to get you one today.
Or we're going to get one. We're going to get one because you're doing some events in Schenectady. But it is Fire Prevention Month, and that's what we're going to talk about. So Gary, you've been on the show before. We've had you up at the Capitol. We talked about preparing for emergencies, something very real, something that we're seeing more and more of with weather-related, but also fires. And one of the things we always talk about is having a plan, right? And that's what this is about. So how? It seems like a simple thing, Gary, but a lot of people, when I'm addressing about emergency preparedness, how many people have a plan? Very few hands go up, right?
That's right.
So tell us about how important it is to have a plan.
The most common type of disaster is actually a home fire.
Yep.
It's much more common than tornado or things like that.
Yep.
7 people die in this country every day from a home fire. So it's critically important. So we work with families and teach them the things to avoid around electrical safety, not smoking in bed, be careful cooking, all of those sorts of things to prevent fires. And then we talk to them about having a plan. Make sure your kids know how to get out of the house. Draw the plan, practice the plan, test your smoke detectors on a regular basis. Very kind of simple things that you can do, very quickly to make yourself a lot safer.
And this is a little. Tell us what this is here. This is a little.
This is when we go to someone's home and we install smoke alarms. We'll sit down with the family and diagram a family escape plan.
Yep. And
it's magnetic, so people can put it on their refrigerator. And it's just a good reminder. And it's great, particularly for little kids, to tell them this is what you do if there's a fire.
Now, with fires, we've talked about in the past with flooding has been an issue across the area. We talk about hurricanes. We talk about severe weather. We talk about these little go kits. With fires, it's a little bit different, right?
Right. With fires, you're interested in. You need to get yourself out.
Yep.
In an average fire, we're told you have 2 minutes to get out. That's why it's important to have your smoke alarm installed and to know where to go. And because in 2 minutes can be the difference between life and death.
I know we've all seen fires. We've heard of fires in Western News. Kevin, tell us about the program coming here to Schenectady.
Sure. So on November 12th, we have a home fire install event. So we're going to be canvassing the area, and we're going to be installing up to 500 smoke alarms in areas of need. And the need is great. Back in July, there was actually a home fire in Schenectady that actually claimed 2 lives, one of them being a 5-year-old little girl. Yeah. So we know that our program of installing smoke alarms and educating the public really helps. We actually had 2 lives that were saved in Utica after one of our events. So we know that with the community support, going out there with our volunteers door to door, we're going to be able to make a huge difference.
It seems like smoke alarms seems like a simple thing, but one of the things I always hear about, we go test the smoke alarms and the batteries are dead, right? It's the most common thing. How often do you really need to change the batteries? It's more often than people think, right?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, we encourage everyone to test their smoke alarm batteries, and a good reminder is when you change your clocks, test your batteries. But if you don't have a smoke alarm, you can reach out to the Red Cross and we'll install them free of charge. Yeah. And the great thing about the smoke alarms that we're installing is they have a 10-year battery life. So when you install them, you can be confident that you're going to have something that's going to last in your house.
And I know there's some other things we're going to talk about, but that is sort of one of the key protections when smoke, when the smoke alarms go off, something's wrong in the house. Yeah. So this event in Schenectady, we're looking at 500 homes installing smoke alarms. So that's big. And we're going to be talking about it on my website. So those watching, you can follow on my social media when that event is coming in November.
November 12th.
And to participate, all you have to do is sign up. Right? So how do people sign up? People that are watching, they want to get these smoke alarms installed.
They can go to our website, redcross.org/ENY. They can call our special phone number for smoke alarms, 694-5121. In addition to signing up, we're always looking for volunteers to work at these events. Yep. It takes a lot of people to hit 500 houses, and we're also looking for financial support for our whole smoke alarm program, which goes on over our entire 24 counties. So if people want to participate in any way, they can call us. And if they're not around on November 12th, If they don't live in Schenectady, they can still call that number or go to the website and request a Red Cross smoke alarm.
And how long does it take to, okay, so you're going to visit the houses, volunteers, we're going to install the smoke alarms. How long does it take?
It's about 15 minutes.
So it's
and
about
it's
15
really
minutes.
simple.
It's a small investment of time to be protected, to have this protection against fire.
The Red Cross has a goal of reducing home fire deaths by 25% by the year 2020. So we know that if you have a smoke alarm in your house, you can reduce the risk of fatality by 50%. So it's so simple to just reach out to the Red Cross, have us come put in a smoke alarm, and have your plan ready.
So we talked about a plan. We talked about protecting with smoke alarms. What are some of the common causes of fire that we could check out in the house and maybe eliminate?
So electrical fires, obviously. At the holidays, we have a lot of fires around Christmas trees and decorations. People who use space heaters that are too close to the curtains or furniture and things like that. Cooking fires are always a big issue. People need to be careful and not take a nap while something's on the stove. Those are really the main causes. And again, a lot of this stuff with simple safety steps is really preventable.
And some of the other things that I could think of is it seems like when you go through the summer, now the furnace comes on, it's getting cold. The furnace hasn't been cleaned. It's important to check that out as well, make sure the chimney's cleaned, all those type of things, because it builds up over time, right?
Right.
So those are things that we can get checked as well. But I know you have a list of tips on your website.
That's right.
So they can access the website. Let's give out that website one more time.
They can just go to redcross.org, our national website, and for almost any type of disaster, we've got lots of tips. One of the things we're going to do this fall while we're doing smoke alarm installations, we're also going to do some winter storm safety tips.
Yep.
So when we sit down with people and talk to them about fire safety, we'll also talk about winter storm safety, and then of course in the spring we'll transition to another type of disaster.
And what's nice about the American Red Cross is you also have an app. So because I have it on my phone, so
That's right.
so you can download the app for free, right?
Yes.
So how do people get to the app, to the website?
Yes, go ahead.
You can get it from the website, or you can go to any of the app stores. And what's great about it is in maybe a larger disaster like flooding or the hurricanes that we're seeing down in the south right now, people have an opportunity to find their local shelters and find disaster preparedness information. So those apps are really important. It's also important to remember in times of disaster the need for blood supply too. So encouraging people to also go donate blood is important. We also have a blood app as well.
And we've seen a few of those events here at the school in Schenectady. We've seen them at Chaumont and Rotterdam. We've seen it at the mall, even at the mall at Rotterdam Square. So they're around, and I get a little postcard when it's time to donate blood. Certainly that is important. We can't forget about that as well. Download the app, visit the website. We're going to be in Schenectady on November 12th.
That's right.
So go to the website, AmericanRedCross.org. Sign up to get one of these smoke detectors installed with a 10-year battery life.
That's right.
That's wonderful to hear. That's going to last 10 years. You can also call my office, visit my website, shoot me a message, and we'll be happy to assist you. We're also bringing something else to the city of Schenectady. It's called the Pillowcase Project. Let's just briefly describe what that event's going to involve.
Pillowcase Project is something that we've done all across the country jointly with Disney, and it's an attempt to teach elementary school age children how to be prepared for disaster. So they get a pillowcase, and they can draw on it and make all sorts of pretty pictures, and they learn what to put in the pillowcase to be ready if they have to evacuate their home in the event of a flood or something like that. And actually the idea came from after Katrina, when they found in Louisiana that a lot of kids left their homes just by instinct. They threw a bunch of things in their pillowcase and they left. So it's just to explain to kids, these are the kinds of things you ought to have prepared and ready to go.
And this is similar to a Go Kit and what we see in emergency backpacks. And of course, the Go Kits are always available. People can request them. They can call my office. They can visit the website. They can call. There's a number of ways to do it. But having a plan, very important. Having that smoke detector cuts down 50%. 50%. Yes. That's a significant number. And fires can be quite common when the weather changes. So you can see that happen. It's important to be prepared. It's important to keep your family safe. Also keep your pets safe as well. But it all starts with a plan. And I think this is something that you should participate in if you can. And you also Do you also check smoke detectors that are in the house? We
Yes.
can check those while you're there.
Yeah, we have batteries with us, so if people have an older alarm with batteries that's still working, we'll pop new batteries in it.
So if you're not sure, it's worth it to spend the 15 minutes, a small investment of time to keep your family protected. I want to thank you for all the work you do. I know you do it in my district, but you do it throughout
Thank
the
you.
entire state.
And thank you for supporting us.
And I do
appreciate
get
it.
the stats that you send over to my office, and it shows a significant number of activity in the district and some of the things that you are doing to really help families, the shelters, and you've made it easier through apps, adapted to technology. So there's plenty of ways to contact the American Red Cross. If you get a chance, even if you're not participating in any of these, or you just want to learn a little bit more about what the work that they're doing, please do that. Call my office or visit the website, explore it. There's a lot of things on that website. It's very, very thorough with explaining all the different services, all the things that the American Red Cross is doing in our communities. November 12th, we'll be doing the smoke detector installation
Yes,
and
that's right.
instruction. We'll be checking batteries. So sign up for that event at the website. The Pillowcase Project, more details to follow. You can call my office for more details. We'll be doing that with the Schenectady schools.
That's right.
So we'll be doing that with the kids. So plenty of things happening. October is Fire Prevention Month, so there's plenty of ways to learn and protect yourself, have a plan, and participate. So thank you for joining us, Gary and Kevin. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I know we'll talk again soon. Thank you for watching the show. This has been a great episode of Santa Barbara Now. Join us again where we'll talk more about things happening in your community. We're going to follow up on these events and much, much more. Thanks for joining us.